Technology have made a lot of things different, including growing up. That means we have to deal with things our parents never did when it comes to child rearing. So all week long, we've been talking to parents and our experts about the tough issues the 21st century parent faces. And now we want to know what the answers are to the questions you shared. You went to Facebook and asked some of your questions, so we brought two of our experts back. We have Jason Malika, who's our social media NPR expert, and Lynn Shine, our mental health counselor. You guys are both parents. Do your kids have school today?
No, they're off today.
So how did you bundle up to get in?
You know, I just threw the jacket on, threw a hat on, and got in the car and drove.
Toughed it out?
Yeah, the roads weren't too bad in Niagara County. As we got out towards Erie County, got a little more dicey, but you know, bundled up, got out there.
Well, I appreciate both of you being here, especially when it's this cold. Let's get to our first question, because this one comes from Jeanette Glenn, and she wanted to know, how old does a child have to be to babysit at night, how old during the day, and how long? So this is something that we sort of touched on, and we shared with you what the New York State Office of Family Services had to say. They told us there's no minimum age for leaving a child home alone in New York State. 3 states have laws regarding kids staying home alone. So what do you think, Lynn, is the appropriate age?
Again, it really depends on your child, and I know you spoke about this the other day, but you have to be able to judge what your child's emotional capabilities are, whether they're a child who follows the rules or whether they tend to push the rules some, whether they're able to, I think safety first. So the rule of thumb is, they say about 10 years of age you can keep your child home for like an hour. I think that that's pushing it a little bit, but it really depends on your child. In terms of staying at night, we look at minimum age about 12, 13. But again, you may have a 15-year-old that's not ready to stay home. You trust the child. If the child says that it frightens them, please don't push it. And you need to go over rule after rule after rule in terms of understanding if they know what to do if a crisis occurs.
Okay, so just keeping in communication and really knowing what they're comfortable with in addition to you. But the minimum guideline you would say would be 12 to 13 for overnight?
Overnight is even more. At night maybe, and I think that that's still young, but yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's go to our next question here. This one's for you, Jason. Tish Howard Clark says, my 5-year-old loves music. Music is a great thing, and she uses the iTouch all of the time. So she's asked for her own. I also load educational games on it for her use. We'll get to that question here in just a second. She's 6 in June, and this viewer wants to know, is 6 too young to be letting her use her iPad?
You know, I think parents have to sort of set boundaries. You have to figure out whether your children are ready for an iPod or an iPad. My children, what we did was we sort of gauged it. We actually, 6 years old was the age we got them their first iPod Touch. We started out with one of the shuffles, the small ones that they used to have, and we got them used, and we loaded a bunch of songs in there to see, you know, whether they wanted their own sort of, you know, when we were young, it was Walkman. You know, we would walk around and listen to them. But now we sort of decided that, okay, it's fine for that. They like them. So they were playing with our phones a little bit. So I think 6 years old is sort of when the time is right, then you could probably start thinking about it. But you have to sort of have that conversation. You as a parent have to take the responsibility to say, okay, are my children ready? Even though they say they're ready, are they really ready? And I think that's where parenting needs to come in and saying, okay, I think I can get it. I shouldn't get it. I would say from my perspective, we were okay with it because we sort of tested the kids out a little bit. But every parent and every child is different.
We have one more question real quick from Melanie Murphy, who wants to know, how is dating defined? One-on-one, what is implied by that term today? Lynn?
If you ask a child right now, a teenager, are you dating? And I've tried it. And the answer will be, oh, I mean, get with the times sort of face. So dating isn't used very much right now. It's connecting, we're hanging, we're talking, all of those kind of things. But to me, dating is implied, at least, that it's an intimate relationship. And intimate can mean just with the sexual piece or without the sexual piece, depending on where your child is or what's going on.
And most parents are cringing when they hear that.
Yeah, okay. I get it.
Thank you so much, Lynn and Jason. We appreciate you coming back today.